Hello and welcome to another episode of the Farbank Fly Fishing School. I'm your host, Simon Gorsworth, and today I'm going to talk about the basic equipment you need to go fly fishing. And really, the basic equipment can be distilled into two parts, the essentials and then the periphery stuff, the stuff that actually helps you but you don't necessarily need. So the first thing you absolutely need is you got to have yourself a fly rod. A fly rod is absolutely essential. Like any kind of fishing, you got to have a rod. There's a fly rod. On the fly rod, like any form of fishing, you're going to have to put on a reel. Here's a fly reel. On the reel, you're going to have to put on a fly line. That's really essential too. So these are vital components. And then there's something called backing. And all of this gets put together, and that is the most essential part of your equipment. I'm going to go into detail of this in a moment, but I just want to run through a kind of a shopping list, if you like, of the gear that you need for fly fishing. Now, you can get those individually. You can go into a local fly shop and just say, can you set me up with an outfit? And they'll happily do that. But equally, you can also, a really good move for a lot of novice fishermen is to start off by getting what's called a fly fishing outfit or a kit like this. This is a perfect example, right? In here, in this package, is a rod and a reel with backing and a fly line on, all in a single kit. So if you're a bit worried about going in and not asking the right questions or not getting the right kind of stuff, then get yourself an outfit like that and you'll find that you've got all that essential stuff in one single package and it's balanced. It's going to work really well. Now, in addition to those kind of key things, you're obviously going to need a few more accoutrements. There's leaders, right? You've got to have a leader on the front end of your fly line, and that's an essential item. Can't get away without a leader. You're also going to have some spools of tippet material. Again, another vital item that you've got to have with you. And far more important probably is a box of flies. Right? Depending on what you're fishing, where you're fishing, you're going to have a variety of flies, but you've got to take with you a selection of flies fishing. And really that's your essential equipment that you can get away with. You need that kind of amount of gear to go fly fishing to start off with. And as I said, I'm going to go into a lot of detail about each of these key items as we progress through this video. But in addition to those things, there's a few accoutrements, as I mentioned, that will help your day on the water. I like to keep these things on a little lanyard. So, for example, there's three things here. These are snippers. You could have some scissors on here or just nips like this. This is to cut the ends of your line. That's an essential thing to have. I also have a pair of forceps or hemostats. And these serve a couple of uses. One thing I like to do is I like to fish what's called a barbless hook. And we'll talk a bit about that, but a barbless hook is where you squash down a barb. This is a material or an item that will do that nicely. This is also really good if you hook a fish and the fly isn't right in the edge of its mouth, but it's down in its mouth a little bit. You can put these forceps down the fish's mouth and kind of unhook it without jamming your fingers in there and choking the poor thing. And then the other thing I like to keep on my lanyard here is just a hook sharpener, because you're going to be fishing and sometimes you're going to snag the bottom or hit a rock behind you and blunt your hook. So I like to sharpen my hook. So that's a kind of a utility belt type thing. And then just for your own safety, I would strongly recommend you fly fish with just some glasses on, protect your eyes. Not good getting a hook in your eye, believe me. Thankfully, touch wood, it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen pictures and oh my God, I'm so squeamish. And these ones are polarized. That's a really good thing for fly fishermen because it helps cut out the glare and helps you see fish in the water. There's also a hat, right? Any old hat will do. I like a hat on my head, protect it. You don't want to get a hook driven into your head, so much better get it driven into your hat than your head. And really, those are the main items. You can get bits and pieces like tippet rings and strike indicators and split shot and this and that. There's lots of items you can add to that, and you probably will in your fly fishing career add to those basic items. But that's a really good starting point. And then really, I guess the last thing is you've got to put them all in something. There's a number of options out there in the fly fishing world. Personally, I like the fly fishing vest or waistcoat. For English like me, we call it a waistcoat. Very nice. But this is, it's got lots of pockets. I can put my leaders in one pocket and I can put tippet in another pocket and I can put piles and piles of flies and floating and lots of things like that. So I wear this vest when I'm fishing and everything is with me. That's a really good thing about carrying all this gear wherever you're going. And on the back of the vest, I just clip on a net like this because, again, hey, I'm going to catch fish one day and I want a net handy to be able to land it. So that's my preference as a vest. Some people have what's called a pack, and a pack is something you wear around your waist. You can also have a net in the pack, and you can have all the things that you utilize inside that pack. And yet another way of carrying gear, of course, is just a humble fishing bag, right? So you can just take a fishing bag and just dump everything in that, and again, clip your net on. So you do need something really to transport all this material about with you when you're fishing, and that makes it just simple, right? You pick up your bag or your vest or your pack, and off you go, and everything's in it. So that's a little nutshell about the kind of gear you need to go out fly fishing. And as I said, I just want to go into a bit more detail on the rod, the reel, the line, leaders, and the tippet. Give you a bit more information so that when you choose an outfit to go fly fishing, you've got some knowledge about how to choose the right outfit for wherever you're going.